Serious question for you guys. Do you think Goku could learn magic? Do you think he could be like a magician, do a little magic wand over a hat, pull out a rabbit? I don't think so either. But I do think that he did learn a little magic in Dragon Ball Z. And I think he learned it from King Kai in two ways, really. I believe the Kio Ken and the Spirit Bomb are essentially magic techniques for manipulating ki, and that the core of how they work. Because we know that in Dragon Ball Z the techniques are never properly explained. Well, Kio Ken isn't explained a whole lot how it works, and what it does is explained very well, and how its drawbacks are explained very well, but it's never explained otherwise. So there's a lot of magic users in Dragon Ball Z. There's Fortune Teller Baba and the Nameks, and there's that technique for containing beings that they use on King Piccolo. So the Kais too seem to be very proficient magic users, and this gets to the point that I think this technique of the Kio Ken and the using the Spirit Bomb as well is about channeling more energy than you can, and it uses magic to summon it. Basically, it's a summoning technique, I would call it, almost like other magic's usually about having like a circle and you light candles and do some way of writing chants and stuff, and that part of the chanting or saying a spell I think is what Goku is probably doing when he says Kio Ken attack, or maybe he says something else. Maybe he has to say it internally, like an advanced magic. But unless maybe the King Kai did something to his body other than preparing it with all the gravity training to handle the pressure that seemed to be put on his body. But to get to the point, when you in Dragon Ball Z you can't hold so much energy. You only can hold as much energy as you've trained for, right? Not explicitly said that how that works either. I think that just increases your threshold of what you can channel or such. But then when you reach an enemy you can't defeat, what do? Well, King Kai figured this out. He figured out something that would draw in magic. Magic to draw in ki to your body. Obviously, though, if you're going above and beyond your threshold, then you're going to have some problems with it, which is why it's hard for people to use it long term. Bottom line, it's a technique that's very useful that way. And so how does it work? I think Goku's saying something, Kio Ken, and this thing looks at his body and says, okay, you have this much power, okay, we can multiply it twice over, but that part too, that part of where it's causing damage should be pretty obvious. I think it's like holding more weight than you can or something. It's you're putting that pressure on your body, which is why it was dangerous to use and eventually outclassed by the Super Saiyan transformations, because those are tedious on your body, but those are natural ways of increasing your power. Your threshold increased, I think, essentially with that, where Kio Ken is just artificially adding more ki to your body than you're able to hold at that time. And going into the Spirit Bomb, I think that's where, with the Spirit Bomb, think of this with Kio Ken. In Spirit Bomb, you're gathering energy from other life around you and channeling it into a outer form, in an energy form over you, or Goku initially held it in his hand. You're channeling outside yourself, but it's like an additional amount of energy, which is, I feel like, why it's part of the reason that it had to be done so slowly, is because too it's so much more energy than what you would be able to handle yourself, that it has to be greatly controlled. But like the Spirit Bomb, how it drew an energy from other life forms, the Kio Ken, I think, is doing the same thing. It's reaching out into the universe, or like I'm thinking like metaphysically or something, just drawing more energy from life forms around you and then channeling into your body, and your body is a vessel that it contains that, and then it has the benefits there where it increases your sights, the other senses basically, and but the drawback of adding or going above and beyond your threshold. So there was the spirit bomb is the external form of it, and the Kio Ken is kind of like an internal form of this energy, magic, energy manipulation, summoning, big thing. So that's kind of what I wanted to get at. I think that theory helps kind of fit in this little gap that's been missing about what the Kio Ken and spirit bomb kind of are. I think it's some simple yet difficult to use magic that helps you gather more energy than you can handle. And thanks for listening.